Hello, this is Miriam. Thank you for watching my video. 2026 is the number 250th
anniversary of the United States. It's a perfect time and a meaningful time to visit Washington, D.C. for tremendous expeditions. I recently took this pilgrimage tour. In this video, I want to show you some of the traps that I fall into and tips I wish I knew before the tour to help you if you have similar plans. First, for airport. I took a flight from Seattle to Washington, D.C. on July 9th. Usually, the wait time for security screening in SeaTac Airport is about 20 to 30 minutes based on my own experience. This time, the estimated time on the signboard was 45 minutes for regular screening. My own count was even longer. It was from 10 past 10 a.m. to 10 past 11 p.m. It was definitely longer than before. If you, the same as me, used to be the last-minute airplane catcher, warning issued. You might not care about getting TSA pre-checked before, but this time, it will save you a 300 meters long queue. I literally counted the number of stations. There are five queues, and each of them have about 31 stations. The distance between two stations is about 2.5 meters, so about 300-meter queue. So I think it's really worthy to get pre-checked. Second, for the quality of life on the airplane. Finally, I was onboarded. Both my flights were delayed for about 1 hour. Given all the major events happening right now, the delay can be more common. It's easy to get bent out of shape, so get prepared. As a Seattle resident, I found Washington, D.C. very humid. It's a huge difference. The humidity and the huge temperature difference in and out of the AC could make you uncomfortable. I transferred through Atlanta Airport. Once I stepped on the plane from Atlanta to DC, the AC was so strong on the flight that there are white steam coming out from the AC. Make the cabin looks like a castle in the cloud. It was quite a scene. Although it was cool in the beginning when we just boarded, it soon became a fridge for me. I saw they provide blanket for business class. In order to make your trip more comfortable, bringing an extra blanket is actually an upgrade for you. Let's get to more tips. Seattle to DC is about 6-hour trip. Most domestic airlines don't provide meal. Even as a purchase option, they are not hot meal. So get hot meal in the airport. Last but not least, for the quality of life on airplane, don't suffer in silence. Coming in and out is not convenient for non-aisle seats. Some people like to avoid the restaurant run. I totally understand. I used to do so too. But one mentality helped me change, which is the space is already so limited. plus tons of frustration we just went through in the airport. We should do something to make ourselves feel better rather than making our lives even harder. So don't hold it. Additionally, I brought a facial mask, a head massage cap, a heating belt for my lower back. These made my return flight feels much shorter. Third, or transportation. I had the most say on this topic. I had a belly full of bitterness to share. Ride-share apps like Uber, Lyft, or Didi in China are my go-tos since last 10 years for transportation from the airport to the hotel if I'm not driving. I would just call it Uber in this video, but you get the idea. Growing up in developing China, taxi had gave me a bad experience, such as rip-off, hidden fees, and even denial of service. So I had a delusion that Uber is cheaper than taxi. More importantly, knowing the price in advance rather than seeing the number hidden up makes me feel safe. However, this trip to DC taught me a lesson. Taxi can beat Uber sometimes. First, for the airport transportation specifically, I think the airport didn't design the ride-sharing pickup journey well, or they just didn't care. Even though there is a dedicated pickup area, but it shares the same space with road. Plus, it was blocked for maintenance at the time when I was landing, so it was hard to find my driver. On the other hand, taxi enjoys its own dedicated parking. Taxis are just wait there for passengers. At this point, I searched the price for Uber and taxi, try to prove that at least my waiting saved me some time. But I found something that I wish I knew earlier. Uber isn't necessarily cheaper than taxi. Mile to mile, taxi may have a higher fare rate, but Uber adjusts price based on supply and demand. For a midnight airport to hotel ride, due to less supply but higher demand, Uber could be more expensive than taxis. So I think if you are shy from taking a taxi the same as me, search the taxi price before you book a Uber. That will make you safer. Second, in a city like DC, where traffic is highly regulated, there are more rules than we country bumpkins can think of. When you see the distance is just 1 mile on the map, but because of certain rules, like certain roads are one way only, or doesn't allow left turns, or just because traffic, that 1 mile could take 10 minutes. So the match and wait time feel much longer than any metro city I have been in the United States. I stayed in a downtown hotel. The match and pickup time took about more than 10 minutes every time. The worst experiences from the popular museums back to hotel. The common case is there is a single or double lanes, one-way direction only road in front of the museums, and Uber drivers are not allowed to park there. So they can't wait you they can't wait for you there. There are dedicated pickup spots, but they are named by street name. However, as non-locals, you are not familiar with the street name. What happened to me was in the Natural History Museum, I wait for my first Uber driver for 10 minutes. When he says he arrived, apparently there was a distance between us. And it turns out that we are on the different streets. Long story short, I had to cancel that trip and reset the pickup spot. Some tips for transportation. Between hotel and museums, if you don't have a luggage with you, public transportation is the best. Public transportation, like buses or trains, is the best. If you have to take an Uber, when the map says it's just 10 minutes drive, don't trust it. Plan 30 minutes to buffer the match and pickup time. For the weather, although it's usually hot and humid in June and July in Washington, D.C., I met a case. Suddenly, it looked like it's going to pour rain. I had to cancel the plan to walk around the neighborhood. So either bring an umbrella, raincoat with you, or have an indoor plant as a backup. For travel plans, because of the volume of exhibitions at this time, planning ahead is very important. You have to know that you won't have the time to visit all of them. So find out what's the show, what's the display that you must see in a museum. And go to that one directly first and check all of the others later. Right now, there are many unique exhibits in the DC area. There are the original Declare of Independence, Bill of Rights, and Constitution on display in the National Archive Museum. There is a live butterfly exhibition in Natural History Museum, National Gallery of Art. It's just like a maze. If you go to a random exhibition, it could be lost and tired. When you find out something that you really want to see, it's already close time. By the way, some of them close at 5 p.m., some of them close at 5:30. So don't get confused. For me, I didn't have the chance to explore the second floor of the National Gallery of Art, and I didn't have the chance to see the live butterfly show, which I really want to see. So search for the highlights first, and then go to the one you can't miss, and check the rest of them later. For the last day, buffer enough time to fetch luggage. On the last day, you may have to either store the luggage in the hotel or store it in a storage store nearby. However, storing in the hotel usually means you have to go to the opposite direction on your way to the airport in order to fetch the luggage. For the second option, it seems more logical. I was suggested by Gemini to do so anyway. However, in reality, the nearby storage store may not be so close. What happened to me was my last destination was International Spy Museum, which is super cool, by the way. I will have another video to talk about each museum I visited. The first mistake I made was I took the train. And while at the station, I checked out what storage stores I could find. However, every of them are more than 1 mile away. I finally found one which says 0.7 miles away, which sounds not too bad. However, those 0.7 mile turned out a marathon for me. So the train stop is underground and the museum entrance is on the upper level. This isn't uncommon, but somehow there aren't elevator to go to the upper floor. The only elevator is inside USPS headquarters, which is a federal building and needs badge to access. Not surprisingly, I was refused to get in. I have to push the luggage, came out of the train station, figure out my way under a freeway bridge, and then climb 4 floors to get onto the upper level. So thank you, USPS. It's really nice to see you in this way. From there, I really lost the energy to walk the next 0.7 miles. So my lesson learned for the last day luggage transition: first, avoid using public transportation if you can. Even if taking public transportation could be faster than Uber, as long as there's one place that doesn't provide elevator, your energy would be drained out soon. Don't forget, you have an airport run to go. Second, reduce transition steps. Whenever you have to add a transition, for example, taking another Uber or taking another bus, 8 and 30-minute buffer. Even if the destination looks like very close on the map, taking a luggage and walking under the sun is totally another story. The best route from my experience is take a Uber, add the storage store as a stop, add the storage store as a middle stop on your way to your last destination. And then when you are ready to head to the airport, add the storage store as a middle stop too. Don't get another Uber.
Here is a summary of all the tips mentioned in this.
Thank you for watching till now. Hope these tips would be helpful for you. Hang in there. See you in the next week.